So, hello everyone. Welcome back to our Artist Spotlight. My name is Leah Mundy, and today I'm going to be interviewing Robert Grayt. So, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, give a little bit of background, what you do, anything like that.
Okay, I'm Robert. I guess art-wise, like I'm all over the place. Normally, whatever I can do to help tell the story I'm trying to portray. Sometimes it's painting, sometimes it's sculptures, sometimes it's writing, and sometimes it's photography. My primary, I guess, genre is photography, and I like to focus on a tableau style, which is storytelling in one shot, basically. I use tableaus in such a way to help people work through different issues, traumas, triggers, anything that helps them level up and process different things going on with them at that moment.
Okay, that's really cool. So, what inspires you as an artist?
Ooh, it's probably a mix of things, like storytelling, but really it's just approaching a story in such a way that people can learn from it and yeah, I mean, I guess really whatever helps. I probably fumbled through that one.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Really got stuck in my head. But like, I don't know, I feel like there's so much going on, even on different levels. So like if I'm creating a tableau, sometimes it's my own stories, sometimes other people's, and I'm helping them tell their story. So they may not be in it. They may be more of like, here is really what I want to portray, and I help them work through that and do that process. But there's like multiple stages, even like as an artist, as like we do it. So when you create something like that, you're working through your stuff, or they're working through it because they're with you. But then there's a whole other level of growth and going through things when you're like doing the editing, right? And then there's another, you go, now I'm going to put this in an art show. And then that's like where like you'll reach so many more people. I mean, I've had shows where people left crying. I've had people who approached me in shows and just say, this photo, like, I remember that emotion. I remember that moment. And they just tell me their life story right there. And so while I've like either told my story for my self-growth, or I've helped somebody else tell their story for their self-growth, I just sparked another flame for somebody else to start their path for their self-growth, right? So it's all a movement of our journey of how we process life, right?
All right, that's pretty awesome. It's like a domino effect, huh?
It is, very much so.
Okay, so let's say that it's a very gloomy day. What motivates you or inspires you to create when you just aren't feeling motivated, when it's a blue day? Like, what motivates you to want to get going?
I guess that's tricky. Because I mean, it's different for everybody, right? But I guess on some gloomy days, like if I'm just like down or just kind of not feeling it or whatever, let's go as simple as just writing stuff down. Because even like writing stuff down and then journaling, right? Or writing a poem or just writing random thoughts, those usually come into a piece of artwork later, right? It's more like, okay, I may not physically be painting or out shooting or something somewhere with my camera, right? But you're storyboarding and story-wise, or even getting that emotions out, or that feeling, right? Or whatever that stuff is going on, that's the starting point. And a lot of times, like a lot of my paintings, I'll actually write my notes and jots on the back of it. So when whoever buys my paintings, they'll see, oh, this is really what started that. And it'll be in the back of the canvas.
Oh, that's pretty neat. I love that. That's Awesome. So do you have any artists who influence you?
Ooh, most of my, I guess, artist-wise that influenced me are mostly photographers. So Bill Brandt is one of my favorites. He was in the World War II era, black and white film photography. But he has a quote, and I'm just going to paraphrase it basically. But he says, "Photography is not a sport. There are no real rules." Right, but like in his, if you look through his books, he has multiple different genres. But my real favorite part is how he will merge different photography genres into one shot. So if he does like a nude, really it's like you're going to see like a side of a woman's face like on a beach, and then it's with the ocean, right? So it's very much from artistic approach, but he's merging like portraits and landscapes, like all these things are merged going in. It's not like a straight on like nude. There's so many layers of this stuff going on. Another I guess favorite of mine would be Nan Golden. And then so she's very much known for her really just rawness of her photos, and they're more of like kind of a street photography type style, but very much like here's what's going on in the world and close up. And usually it's more stuff that like at her time, like they're like, oh, we don't want to do that. And she was very much just in it. Another one would be I guess Gregory Crutzen. I don't know if you are aware of him. He's a super famous tableau artist. But he has a he will like close streets down and have like full like movie production type setup just for so he's that would be the three, I guess, photography wise that I kind of I don't know, I wouldn't say I would copy, but there's an influence, there's overlapping influence of all three, and I just kind of take, here's a three, and then here's my merging of. Does that make sense?
For sure, absolutely. So where does inspiration strike you? Is there like a certain time of day, certain season, a time of year, just any different settings that really just help you create?
I think it depends. Like, for paintings, a lot of like some of the ideas come from that might be if I'm like in a meeting and I'm like just jotting ideas down based on words, and I'll jot stuff down while I'm like listening. Sometimes my paintings really come from if I have a really bad headache, and then so the light blotches I see when I close my eyes become paintings. And then I mean, I guess it really depends. I mean, if I'm trying to tell a story and I'm going to do an abstract, right? Because I don't know. I guess I mostly paint more of an abstract style, but you can still like see the story within it, or that's the hopes. It's different for like my sculptures. Those are pretty much just pre-planned out of like jotted lines of here's how I'm going to approach it kind of thing. And then I get all my materials, and then I kind of pre-planned into every detail. And those typically take longer in the pre-setup right before actually starting. Photography, like it's all based on lighting. I carry a film camera in my car normally, and then so that when I'm out somewhere, I'm like, oh, perfect, I'll just grab a film camera out real quick. Yeah, it's very much, photography for me is very much about light and angles, right? And just looking at it. Shadows are important too, and those usually what kind of depict it of my day-to-day of non-pre-planning like tableaus.
Okay. So do you have a dream project, overall goal, overall dream project, something you're working on that you're trying to get to the end of the tunnel, something like that?
So right now I'm actually working with some other people starting a new nonprofit. And basically what we're doing is it's more of a tableaus, but I have and it's more of like helping people tell their stories, but kind of in a bigger dynamic. So like I have a therapist on board that will be present for every shoot. Then I have myself as the photographer. Then I have another person coming in who's helping me write the grants and help me be my second eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he'll help me, like when we talk with individuals, get their story and like talk back with them to figure out kind of what they're thinking and how they want to portray it. So I have somebody else, my second eyes, in case I miss something, but also as far as detail, help me catch every detail in case I miss something. Because when you do like tableaus, like most of them, like Gregory Crutzen, right? He's got a multiple people going on helping him. So he's like looking, I'm like, all right, here's what I want, do this. But somebody else is going, oh, this is off, let's fix that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the big project that I'm working towards at the moment.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. And I wish you the best. I'm sure you're going to go really far in all of your work, and I can't wait to see some of your work. All right, I think I have one more question for you. So what is creativity to you?
Ooh, that could be so many things.
Exactly.
Creativity could just be simple as opening your eyes and the first thing that you see, right? So for me, creating is just anything that sparks an idea, for me anyways, to cause a message, or what am I trying to portray in an artistic way. So I don't know, I mean I cook a lot too, so my creativity could be, one moment could be I'm gonna make something, and then I guess it really depends. Creativity is everywhere, right? It just seems
Yes, most definitely.
how you look at it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think people, it just depends on the person and how they view the world, like how they like view it, how they do it in their perspective as well. Creativity can be putting different seasons in chicken, and just different things like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
I blend my own coffee. I have a special like coffee blend. So then I'll go through and go like, all right, here's what I want based on these roasts. And I'll go into a local coffee shop, and then I just tell them, here's what I'm looking for. And I go through, they let me smell the beans and make my own mixture. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It's just, yeah.
Well, Robert, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me and interviewing with us for our viewers. Just get familiar with his space, because we're going to be hearing so much more from him and seeing some of his work. And thank you again for interviewing with me, Robert.
Hey, thank you.
All right, thank you.